So yesterday we recorded a vlog about AIM Academy, about these kids with learning differences. And then right after we recorded the vlog, you went home to take care of some flowers of a friend of yours. And then you contacted me with this story. So could you tell us all the story?
I was leaving SnapCab thinking about the topic of the video, part of which was that in your experience personally and in your company, you're concentrated on creating an environment where people can be themselves and be productive, and that environment matters.
Right.
So I didn't go home. I went to my in-laws' house to take care of their dog. And in the yard, I saw, as I always do, this pond they have. And this gorgeous flower was wide open. It was a lily.
Okay.
And I realized, seeing that flower wide open, that the previous evening I hadn't seen it because it was closed.
Okay.
So what occurred to me was that in certain conditions, this flower is wide open to the world. And just immediately, like, your eye is like, wow, that flower is doing its thing and offering beauty. And just the day before, seeing it in a completely different closed up bud. And now being there for a few days, I see it open and close. And it just came to me that this flower, the nature of the flower doesn't change from day to day. It's the conditions that invite it to do what it does. And
Right.
it strikes me as something I relate to personally, where a certain environment sort of brings out in me what's inside, and I want to make it visible. And I know that hearing your story, when you have people around you that accept your learning differences, and it's like a given, there's nothing that needs to change.
Right.
You are who you are. You actually shine in offering what you do have to give, because there's this presence of warmth and understanding.
Yeah.
Did I cover the truth about you?
And that's not just the truth about me, but I think it's the truth about employees. We're talking about mostly employees here at work, and different people. It could be they do better in one department than another department. Maybe they belong at SnapCab. Maybe they belong at a different company.
Right.
I think you were mentioning that they have flowers that only open at night.
Right.
The conditions aren't always identical. It's not like if you get these conditions, you're going to have happy employees.
That's right.
Matching the employee with the right conditions for that specific employee, you're going to get that flower opening. So SnapCab isn't here to fit everybody. SnapCab's here to fit some people, that what they love matches up with what SnapCab needs to be useful, and there's a match.
That's right.
And like that flower, I'm sure there's bees that need to get that flower, and that flower needs that pollen to go to another flower at this time of year in this way.
Yeah.
It's probably very specific if you looked into it.
Right.
And we have very specific needs here. And it doesn't work out for all the employees, but for the most part, you attract people that you think will be a fit.
Something specific is coming to mind that you shared with me today about returning to a paper system.
Briefly go over what you're saying. We just went through a pandemic. Thank goodness for digital systems that let everybody go home, and we just kept going as a company. People are coming back, and I recently went to Japan and saw the paper systems they're using, these Kanban systems and paper and magnetic cues that people physically got around and had meetings.
Yeah.
And we realized, that's going to streamline our processes. It's also going to make it more difficult for people that love using digital things, and it's going to make it harder if you're part of that process to work from home.
Right.
So we're in a transition, sort of a post-pandemic transition, utilizing these more simple systems, meaning you have to be here and be part of the community in person.
In addition to the topic of simple systems being important here, I hear you saying also that physical presence is important to collaboration here.
That's our environment, so we're hoping to find people that can blossom in that environment.
The flower opening and closing in different conditions is just a summary of what we talked about, that there are certain conditions that need to be present for the company to value an employee and for the employee to be happy working at this company.